Oh, it's 23.
Did you get that one?
Yeah.
Wait, let's see. I didn't even move. I just got lucky with that one.
That one was great. Okay.
See, I gotta stop before I mess up. Maybe this is the last one. All right, let's go for it. What's up? This is Brian Tichy here. I'm drumming with the Dead Daisies. We're on tour right now. We're literally at the arena opening for Judas Priest. It's our last show. We've done about 9 shows with Judas Priest. It's been awesome. And grew up on Priest. Come on, who didn't? If you didn't, you got to go listen to some Priest. So we're playing tonight. And luckily, we have just enough time to get this interview together. But thanks for watching.
What do you love most about rhythms? Meaning both, when you play them yourself, when you see somebody playing a rhythm, playing drums, is it more complex subdivisions? Is it the primitive heartbeat kind of thing, in your face, fat grooves, or the waves of a flowing stream?
It's all of the above. It really is all the above. To me, groove is the most important thing, you know, something that moves you. That's the most important, but how can you not, as a drummer or a musician or whatever your choice is, enjoy people that have excelled at a level that's pushing the instrument, you know, or speed. I mean, come on, like just all the above. And that's what drums are. It's a combination of that, you know. I love listening to some simple drumming, simple rock drumming, simple funk drumming. If it's got a groove and a feel, then you go to the extreme stuff. And it's like, I'm blown away by that too. And it's inspiring just as much, you know. So it's really everything. Or you mentioned the word rhythm instead of drums. A rhythm, I mean, a certain rhythm feels a certain way at a certain tempo, and it affects people a certain way. And the sound of that rhythm, what's creating that rhythm, what sounds, all those things, it's never ending. You know, as a drummer, I think you will go to your grave fascinated by everything that we just mentioned, you know, and it never ends. And if it does end, you're not really a drummer.
So you have mastered the fusion, I would say, of skills and groove. So basically, you're coming from the heart and with a lot of bursting energy, but in an absolutely flawless way. So what phases of focus, recognition, reevaluation, etc., did you went through along your career?
Well, thank you very much, but I'm a long way away from what I know my potential is, like a long way, which sucks because you go, well, what's your problem, man? Practice more. Because I know what I got to practice to get better. I totally do. But then life is an adult and things become real in different ways. And it's not the same as when you're a kid cranking headphones, playing to Kiss and Aerosmith and Zeppelin and Rush, dreaming. Because that's a form of meditation and practice all at once. And you don't realize it when you're a kid. It's a whole different part of your life, you know? And then you get older, but then there's those guys out there that are just effing practicing and getting better constantly. And it makes me go, well, what am I doing? So I make excuses. Well, I play guitar too. You know, I write songs like, everybody has their own stuff, but I play what I have to play to make the band and the music sound as best as it can. And if I've got some freedom in there, you know, you just try and pick and choose your spots where you might add something and that's whatever yours or that you think fits. And you just hope it fits and it's musical and it helps the song or adds to whatever you're doing, you know? And that's just being smart as a player. And the more experience you get, the more you can kind of gauge that stuff and go, you know, 10 years ago, I might have thought that was the good thing to do, but really that was just a bit of me trying to showboat, you know? So like you don't want to play, you don't really want to play like Neil Peart in AC/DC, and you don't really want to play like Phil Rudd in Rush. Like it may work, you know, but right now I need, on this planet, I want to hear Phil Rudd play with AC/DC and I want to hear Neil Peart in Rush, you know? Totally different things, and I love them both for exactly what they are.
I would suggest place them in that band and see what happens to them, because then you will open doors that were closed before in those people, and that might be super
the next biggest band might be like AC Rushy or Rush DC. You never know, and it might be this amazing blend, you know. But you get my point. You know?
Yeah, sure.
Play for the gig, and I've had a lot of years of having to prove myself playing for the gig, so I don't lose the gig.
What I meant was different phases of focusing, of thinking what's important to you right now, what gets you further, what do you think should be altered by yourself to, now in the moment, you're struggling with that thing. And this is what I meant when recognition, self-re-evaluation, or even rejection. You have been rejected because of something, and you have to change that in order to get no rejections anymore. Yeah. So what phases in your life were very crucial?
The most crucial was being a kid playing drums. That's where it all started. So and not being told what to play. Like I took private lessons, so I learned like how to read and the basic stuff on a kit, but we really didn't do rock. And I played traditional for years as a kid. And then it was because of AC/DC's Highway to Hell, when it goes bam, bam, Highway to Hell, I love hitting the crash with my left hand. So I taught myself the rock side of drumming, and but it was just more fun. It was just complete addiction. Like there's nothing else. You know, I always said there's a mountain of all cool things on this planet. At the top is a drum set. That's all it was to me. It was that simple, really that simple. But that was the most important time. But then right after high school, I went to Berkeley, and that was Berkeley Music College in Boston, and that was a whole awakening of new styles of music, new styles of drumming. The other students that were kicking my ass doing this and that, and the pressure of the classes and learning and everything, you know. So that helped me get a lot better quicker because I applied myself, because you're in a music college and that's what I thought you should do, you know. So it was either drums all night long or in my dorm room guitar. And that was it, learning from your friends, learning from your teachers, learning from listening to music. You start getting gigs, you know, in your 20s, and then it's a different kind of learning. You know, how to keep a gig, what's the right stuff to do in a gig, and all that. It's different levels of pressure, and all those experiences add up, you know. There's not one thing anybody does that gives you all the answers, you know. It's just a combination, and year after year of doing it. And is that close to an answer?
Absolutely.
Is it getting there?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a very complicated question.
But what were you, rejection. I mean, rejection is, I'll be the rejecter in my life before anybody else. Like I'm the hardest critic of myself, you know, which like we talked about earlier, I don't really, you know, sometimes I don't want to listen to myself play because it's like, yeah, I've heard it. Yeah, can you give me something new, please? You know, well, practice more. There's your answer. There's always that answer. You want to say something new? Think of some new shit and practice, you know. But at the same time, then I also said to you, if I hear a good snare, if I could get a good snare drum sound, that's where I don't care about all the technique and the blah, 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 extreme stuff. If I could play a groove and the snare is like pop, pop, that makes my day. It makes my day, especially in a studio. Or if you hear a good bootleg live or you know, whatever, you get a good snare sound, it's like just huge to me because it made such a difference to me as a kid. Like, why does Bonham's snare sound like that? Why does Alex Van Halen's? Why does Michael DeRozier's? Why does Bruford's, you know? So that's just a whole other thing. But it's never ending. It's always just a big combination of loving playing drums and being a drummer and knowing that there's always that chance to get better. No matter where you are, there's always a chance to get to that next level, whether you're, you know, gig-wise or performance-wise or ability-wise, you know. There's always another step to get up.
You have added some special effects to spice up your drumming, such as playing with your hands and incorporating a speed back that's like 10 years ago or something. But still, I mean, it's outside sources, or your hand is not really an outside source, but still it has been there, but it's not the common thing.
No.
Yeah, okay, so trying yourself, testing yourself, what is possible. Now the question, are you sometimes rhythmically inspired without a musical context, but by an idea or a building or a painting or whatever? Inspiration from outside. of music?
No. No, I don't know if it goes that deep for me. That's just another part of life. You know, I don't know if it actually directly affects drumming for me. For others, it may. It might for playing guitar and writing music or creating, you know, chord progressions and riffs, like, you know, but no.
But I would say the speedback is definitely something out of the realm of music, but you made it musical.
But the speed bag is 100% percussive. It's just, that's what attracted it. Like, okay, for example, just Muhammad Ali as a kid, you watch Muhammad Ali, and you're like, you look at this bag flying around. He's in perfect rhythm to get that triplet happening. You know, he's got to be, you know, I was blown away by that. You see Rocky, you know, Sylvester Stallone, the Rocky movies, when he starts training and you see, any boxer, I was always just like fascinated by the look and sound of a speed bag. And it wasn't until decades later. I think I tried one and I sucked at it. And I kind of thought, it's rhythmic and it's a triplet. I should be able to do this because I'm a drummer. But no, there's a skill to it. It's kind of like, you know, if you're a drummer who's played but hasn't worked on rim shots, there's a skill to nailing a rim shot the same all the time, right? And that's the same thing with when you hit a bag, you know? So to me, it was just like, it was 2008 and I was on tour with Billy Idol and I was backstage. I just typed in speed bag in YouTube. And I saw these guys that are now my friends just doing advanced speed bagging. So it's beyond, it's elbows, it's behind, it's side, all kinds of combinations. And it blew me away. And I went home and I had a speed bag unopened in my garage. And that night I got home off the tour, screwed it into the garage wall, and I just started following videos, the little tutorials on YouTube and started learning. And I got obsessed with it. But it's the rhythm. I mean, so if you haven't speed bagged it, but if you're a drummer, you get it. It's endless rhythms. And, you know, the best example of that I probably put up online was Rush's song Limelight. I speed bagged to it in time, you know, and there's combinations, polyrhythms. I'll go into triplets out of 16ths and control the bag. So, but I really enjoy it, and I love. It's another form of meditation. You know, you just got to get in the zone. Just like playing drums, it's all, you know. I didn't do it for the workout. It wasn't like, oh, it's to get in shape. It's just cool. I love watching this bag bounce around in rhythm, and you're controlling it with elbows. You know, like pop, 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 pop. It's good. It's just good shit. You know, it's just fun. But that's speed bag. Then what did you say? Playing with your hands. I mean, that's like. It was Bonham and Tommy Aldridge and Take Five guy, Joe Morello. You know what I mean?
Sure, it's been around. Yeah.
It's just a different sound source. It's just a way of creating another vowel in a drum solo. You know what I mean?
But I would say even swimming is, in a way, not really percussive, but of course you have the motion and you have a sound and you have the rhythmic of your breath. Yeah. So even that is a sort of music.
Well, there's rhythm
and you can play with it. And this is what I mean, like an inspiration in a way, and then you can think of, okay, how can this become a song?
I haven't like my exact like pedaling on my mountain bike up a mountain or running or swimming or whatever. No, all that does is put me in a zone that I'm not in other places. Somehow, and I think it's mostly mountain biking because you're going up a hill, and that's the whole thing is the workout up, and you get to the top and go, here's the payback going down, right? It's just like water slide. You know, you got to walk up these steps and stand there in the heat, waiting, but the payoff is to go down in the water fast, right? I don't know if you
tension and release, of course.
Well, yeah. So, but going up on a mountain bike, because I don't listen to music when I'm riding a bike for some reason, I zone out and the creative part of my mind does start working. There's little ideas that'll pop. It could be a riff, it could be a phrase. It's just, or it could be, this is shit I got to get done. Like that's the answer right there. And it happens while mountain biking because you're just in a different zone. There's nobody to talk to. There's nothing to do except, you know, get this workout in and enjoy the mountain, you know. But that's good enough for me, you know.
Let's talk about colors in the right spot. So you can choose different melodies with toms and cymbals. So this is the colors you have as a drummer, because I wouldn't say necessarily that kick and snare are that much of a color. It's more the foundation you put the colors on.
Right.
It's more the canvas if you want. But it's very important to choose the right moment in a song and the right intention for cymbals and toms. Can you elaborate how you treat those rhythmical colors?
Well, it's really just trying to be smart with it. And, you know, if this is what I've done my whole life, I should be able to see and hear that stuff a little bit ahead of time, you know, and just kind of know what may work or may not. You know, if you're talking improv in a song, that's one thing. If you're talking a well thought out part or a random fill in a song that already has parts to it, the more you do something, the better you get at it. But I do enjoy structure, and just sensibility is one thing, but also cool sensibility or tasty sensibility, right? Like the fill that you go, oh, that was the best thing to do there, right? You know, I'm gonna think at the top of my head some classic shit. There's a song from Sweet called Love Is Like Oxygen. And they come back to the re-intro with just the guitar and the drummer. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, boom, blah, get it go, boom, and he's into the chorus. And I'm like, there's nothing better that could have happened there. That's the perfect fill. You know, did he make it up on the spot? Was it thought out? I don't know, but I love it. There's a bunch, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, it's all colors. Hi-hat scoops, left-hand hi-hat scoop, you know, like it's one of the coolest sounding things in the world. That's it. Hi-hat scoops, the bucket of fish, or as I call it, the roach, because I asked Carmine a piece ago, where did this come from? Where is that? Because I didn't know. It's like a bunch of years ago, and he's like, Max Roach, right? And what is it that the drum also waltzes? I think it's called. But he's got a motif that goes, get it go, get, boom, boom. That's the theme. But it's all based off of bucket of fish, whatever. But I'm like, give Max some credit. It should be called the Roach. Get it, it's the Roach, man. It's Max's. But that's a theme, you know? And so there's the Roach, the bucket of fish. Love that. I love hi-hat scoops. And I love, you can almost put it anywhere, but I love the scat phrase, the E and a 4, whatever. Just that, just, first time I heard Michael DeRosier do that, I was just like, you know, Bonham does it. It's a common thing, but still to this day, those things, I still go, oh yeah. You know, more than just about like Bluesdas, right? Bluesda. You know, I remember in Berkeley, Bluesda came out. There's like Vinnie Colaiuta and then Greg Bissonette was doing it all the time. And you had to know how to do Bluesdas, right? And I'm like, it's so fusion. And it's like, once you get it, all right, you know, Step Flowers, Bluesda, you know. But I don't really love the sound of it. It's cool and impressive, but I just don't love it as much as I love Get It Go. They're all colors, right? They're all little phrases and voices.
Improvising a drum solo. What are you reacting to? What's coming next? Just internal things or outside or both?
Bugged out, nervous tension of what am I going to do? But after doing many drum solos, you go, okay, this kind of works, this works, and this works. And I can't stand repeating myself. Although I love Neil Peart's solos, the number one all-time Exit Stage Left, the solo in YYZ, to me is just forget everybody, that's the number one solo. And there's so many great solos, but to me that has everything. And I could go on forever about it. And I love tons of drummers, solos for different reasons, but that one, Neil's solos, just, it's all there. So I just kind of go like Neil, but Neil's so well thought out and he improvises with his stuff. I could talk all day about Neil and his solos, but I wish I paid more. I started writing down on my phone my notes, I'm like, drum solo notes. And I started writing, I'm like, I'm never gonna remember all these little details, right? But I have a basic structure in my head, but sometimes you go, screw it, man. Start with freaking double bass shuffle and go from there. Start on the snare, start on top, like who knows? Start with a little sing. Whatever, where are you gonna go? Well, I could go to my hands, and the hands to me, it's like, oh, that's an audience thing. Oh, he's playing with his hands, that must be crazy. It's like, it's kind of fun because it creates an illusion, just because it's like you do doubles with your foot and you know, bash the hi-hat, you know, it looks like aggressive and it sounds different. Audience seems to like it, you know. But I'm not doing any drums. When we do this full show, this tour, I'm not doing the hands because I'm like, our sound man's like, well, it doesn't really project out. I'm like, forget it. Let's just go somewhere else,
This is for music messa or something of that caliber, right?
Oh, I what? Play with the hands?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I've done it, and it's just a bunch of solos. It's fun to do, kind of, but like, there's so many other cooler things that I'd rather do. But yeah, it's mostly, it's like half just knowing what I could do and half improvising and hoping you can keep it together, because I don't have it worked out. And I like being on the edge, but I wish I was a little more well thought out, or I just put more time into the overall picture so everything was just a little more fluid. And then I hit too hard. Then I'm like, if I don't hear like immediate like roars of approval, I'm like, nobody likes this shit. It's not good. And I just go, just hit harder, go faster. And then it's like, I know I'm not doing anything better. I'm just making dumber faces. So, hopefully in there, most of it's, there's so many freaking mistakes inside there. And I'm just like, oh God, I hope it's not all heard, they're not all drummers out there, But it's fun. It's a fun challenge. The more you the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Sometimes for me, it's more important to see the drummer sweat than if every note is in the right place.
Hey, we bought him at Royal Albert Hall. He's going for stuff. I got tons of bootlegs, and you can hear him going for stuff, and it doesn't always work out. And because he's thinking and improvising, and he's within his realm of what he knows, but he's also pushing himself. There's something beautiful about that, and because he's on the edge, he's on the edge. And but I love oh my God, I listen to the Bozio solo. He's so dialed in. It's so, I own this. And he goes for shit, but it's Steve Gadd, fucking amazing solos. Tasty. They sing themselves almost. These are the best guys in the world.
How does creativity suffer or benefit from all the difficult aspects of being in the business, like Live Nation, Ticketmaster, Spotify, all that stuff that is sucking you dry? Is there still room for creativity, or is it maybe a new force and you'd be like, I'm so pissed?
Creativity-wise, no, that's not going to stop anybody from being creative. It just makes the business more difficult, like for earning a living or being a band. Like back in the day, you get a following in your city and labels would come out and watch you play and sign you, put money into you. Maybe they're getting the bulk of the money, but they're giving you an opportunity to put a record out and tour and put a video on MTV when MTV existed. That stuff was huge. It's so not that anymore. I don't know how younger kids can start a band and survive. It seems really difficult.
Yeah, what happened?
Because you can do it yourself. You do it yourself, but everybody's doing it themselves. But somebody, money makes the world go round. Somebody throws you some money and says, take a breath. Here you go. Go into a nice studio, make a record. Here's some money to tour. You're getting a shot. If it will support a single, and if people like it, you can carry on. I mean, Rush wasn't selling arenas out. It took them many records, to get huge. Most bands, the biggest bands in the world It took them a bunch of records to get to this level, and it's really seems hard to do now. But ticket prices or Spotify, yeah, man, nobody's buying records like they were. You know what I mean? That sucks. It's just more like music has become something that's, I don't know, there was more mystique about it, and it was more of could be more of an intimate thing. You got a record, I mean, smell the record, put your headphones on, read the liner notes, look at the pictures. It was an experience of the full, well thought out idea of a band, not just one song, It's just not the same, but that's where I come from. That's what I know, and that's all I care about. The other stuff. You just got to work hard. You just got to work hard and see. If you really want to know, then how far you can go, you're not going to stop. That's it. Despite all the stuff you mentioned, that could be in the way. There's always something in the way, right? Unless you're super, super lucky, there's always something in the way.
Yeah, sure. This is why you keep going.
What else are you going to do? You're going to quit your instrument and get a day job and talk about how you love something you never pursued? Thanks for watching, everybody. I had a great time. I wish I had more time, but time is time, and we can't stretch it really, or you can't do anything about it. You know, we're drummers, and we can't mess with the time. And don't mess with the time. But you're a drummer, so when somebody goes, how long do you think we have till we get there? You're a drummer. You should know better than just everybody else, because we're the ones who keep the time. I gotta go. I gotta get ready for a show. It's been great. Hopefully we do this again, and we'll talk a lot more cool stuff about drums. Thank you.